Well, we'll go as long as we need to go. I have several things prepared that I would like to talk about with how to manage an open trade. Just some good information on how to manage a stop loss, when to move stop losses up, when to take profits, all that kind of stuff, how to do it is all that kind of stuff. So should take us 30 minutes, I think is what I'll need. Maybe we'll need longer, maybe we'll need less, but it kind of also depends on you guys. You guys are more than welcome to ask any questions that you have throughout the webinar, and then we'll answer those questions as we go along. Feel free to even ask questions that may be off topic, especially towards the end. If you have something that's pressing and you would like some extra help on, please share, and I'd be more than happy to help you guys. All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and jump into this. As always, I need to remind everybody about the risks involved in this market. You can lose all or more than your initial investment if you're not careful. So please be aware of how many pips you're risking on each trade, in addition to how big your lot size is, and ultimately how that would affect your account if you were to lose money. So make sure that you're going through that process each and every time that you take a trade. All right, guys. Well, I want to show you guys how to, um, first of all, I guess what I want to do is show you how to close a position. Because a lot of the times what we do with these price action trades is we'll take half of our position for profit and we'll move our stop losses to break even and so on. You guys will see that in the Telegram channel. We did that multiple times last week. We had trades. I'll show you. Yeah, here's the Telegram channel. We took this Aussie yen trade. Obviously, you guys know this was a really, really good trade. It worked out great. We made 380 pips on it. But we did close half of it right here. About midway through the trade, we took half of our position for profit and then we put our stop loss to break even. And so I had some questions over the weekend from people just saying, hey, how do you do that? I've never done that before. So let me show you how to do that on multiple trading platforms. I have pulled up here. We're going to do this on MT4. I'm going to show you how to do it here first. And then I'm going to show you guys how to do this on uh, DX trade. So I have a DX trade account with FTMO that we're going to do this on, and then I also have right here an Awanda web trader platform. So hopefully, like I don't know if you're using, these guys or if you're, who you're trading with. My guess is like if you're trading with DX Trade, then that's perfect. Then I'm going to do an example that way. If you're using a web trader platform like Match Trader or Trade Locker, maybe this example on the Awanda web trader will be a lot more similar to what you're used to over there. Or if you trade directly on MT4 or MT5, you'll have that example. So this will be really, really good. Um, so yeah, let's actually just do this. So let's actually start with MT4. Okay, so MT4 is over here, and I'm just going to take a simple little trade. So in fact, um let's just take the trade that we took earlier, but I'm going to do this one at market. So here's the pound CAD. I'm just going to go ahead and sell the pound CAD right away, just because I need to close half this position to show you guys what we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and take an order. I'm going to go ahead and just click um, new order right here, and it's going to pull up this window. So this is the order window in MT4. And I'm going to change my contract size. So volume is the same thing as contract size. Normally, I would go through a lot size calculator first to figure out my lot size, but with you guys, I'm just going to do something simple. Let's just do 2 micro lots, which is 0.02. Okay, so I'm just going to do 2 micros. And then I'm not going to put my stop loss or take profit in yet. I'm going to show you guys how this is done. It's easier, in my opinion, if you don't know exactly where to put your stop loss or take profit, to just place it after the fact. If you know exactly where you're putting your stop loss or take profit, like with the signal that I provided this morning, then go ahead and put those numbers directly in here before you actually take the trade. By the way, when you're taking a trade in here, if I hit the sell or buy button, this will immediately take a trade. Now, if you wanted to do like a stop limit or pending order, you would want to change this instead from market execution to pending order. And then that would give you the option to select between buy limit, sell limit, buy stop, or sell stop. You'd have one of those four options you'd select from. And obviously, if I'm providing a signal to you guys, then it will indicate right here what type it is. For example, last week on the AJ, this was a sell stop order. And then you would go ahead and just put in sell stop, and then you would indicate at what price you would like to sell at. You can also put an expiration on it. I don't typically do that because I just am pretty good at managing the trades and closing them when I need to. But yeah, you could do that if you wanted. Okay, so let's just take a sell order at market. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit the sell button. Boom. And then all of a sudden, you'll see here in my navigator down below, I've got a sell position. I've got a 0.02 trade to sell the pound CAD. All right. And one of the cool things that I can just do directly in trading, not in trading view, but in MT4 is I can move my stop loss and take profit simply by just clicking on the trade in the chart. And then if I drag up, it will move the stop loss up. Another cool feature you'll see here is the pips. These are actually ticks. Even though it says pips, it's misleading. You can see that go up and down as I move this up and down. You can also see the dollar amount that I'm going to make or lose if that trade loses money. Um, yeah, on the stop loss, you can see if I let go right here and that trade went up to that spot, I would lose $11.48, right? So I can move this to wherever I want to put it. Let's put it here for now. And then I got a stop loss. Now, let's say I want to put in a take profit. All I have to do is do the same thing. I just click on the trade and I drag down, and then that's going to move my stop loss, or excuse me, my take profit. So this is telling me that if I were to let go and put this trade right here, I would make about 176 pips or so, and I would make about $25 if that trade hit its take profit. So I'd be like, okay, I'm going to leave that. And then it would be like, okay, yep, you're going to make that much money if that trade wins. All right. So that's how you can place a take profit and stop loss if you don't know exactly where you're going to put your take profit and stop loss, which normally I already know where I'm going to put it before I even take the trade. So I'm just going to put in that I'm going to put in that price directly in the order window. By the way, if you want to resummon the order window, all you got to do is come down here to the terminal. If you double click on the trade, here is your order window. So you can actually put in your stop loss and take profit by exact prices after the fact if you would like. Okay. So let's say this is a trade that triggered, let's say, this is a signal that we posted earlier today, and let's say the trade goes in our favor. Right now it hasn't yet because I just barely took this trade, and technically the signal hasn't even triggered yet. But let's say it does trigger, this afternoon or evening, and tomorrow we make some money and we indicate that we want to move the stop loss to break even. Okay, so what I like to do is first bring the stop loss to break even. So let's just pretend I'm going to move that down to break even. And that's all I would do is I would just grab the trade and I would just move it to the break even price. I'm not going to put it exactly at break even because if I were to do that right now, it would close because the market is currently sitting at break even because we just barely took the trade. So I don't really want to put it exactly right there, but let's just say we did. This is the process you would go through to do that. Just drag on your chart. Another way you could do it is you could actually put your stop loss at the same price that you entered at. So whatever the entry was, you would just put in the stop loss there by double clicking on the trade, and then you could do that. Now, how do you close half your position? This is probably the most tricky thing to do with most platforms. A lot of people don't know how to do this, and it is a little bit different on each platform. So let me show you how to do it here first. So you double click on the trade in the terminal. By the way, on MT4, if you don't have your terminal, all you have to do is just go up to view and then click on terminal, and it'll be right here in the trade tab. So then you double click on the trade, and then in here, if you hit this yellow button, immediately, it will default to just close the entire position. So you want to be careful not to hit that, because if you hit that, the whole thing closes out. Now, if you want to take all your profits, great. Just go ahead and click the yellow button. You'd be done. Another way, by the way, another way to do this is there's a little X button over here on the right side of the trade terminal. If you click that, it will close the entire thing. So in fact, on this one, on this trading platform, there's no recourse. So like with DX Trade, if you hit that, it'll ask you, are you sure you want to close the entire position? And then you'd be like, yep, I do. Or I know I accidentally hit that. No, I don't. With MT4, there's no recourse. It just closes. So just so you know, if you hit that little X button, it closes the whole thing. So if you want to close half here, what you have to do, oops, let me do this again. Let me click here again. If you want to close half here, what you have to do is you have to change your volume up. So we know we took this trade at a 0.02 contract. So what is half of 0.02? Well, it's just 0.01, right? So I would change that to 0.01, and then I would be ready to close half the position. So let's go ahead and do that, actually. I'm going to go ahead and click close, pound CAD, and it'll tell you what, this is cool. It'll actually tell you what you're about to do. It says if you click this button, it's going to close this order ID at a 0.01 pound CAD at market. That's basically what that means. And then you be like, okay, yep, that's what I want to do. You click it, and then all of a sudden you'll notice right here, now I only have a 0.01 contract left and instead of a 0.02. The same stop loss and take profit are still there. It's just now half the trade size. So now if I actually go to my account history, you should be able to see that trade. Here it is right up here at the top. Yep. So it's we took it at market right now in the afternoon, so we lost 61 cents. That's okay. But yeah, there you go. So 0.01 was the contract size. And yeah, there it is. And if I wanted to close the other half, the easy way to do that would be to just click the X button right here on the trade terminal, or I could I'm not sure why I did that. Let me actually click on this again. Here we go. Oh, why is it doing that? Maybe it's because I hit the. Oh, if you double click on the stop loss or the take profit, it kind of freezes up, and it kind of freezes up certain areas. It grays out certain areas. So you want to double click on like where the price is or the commission or the swap. And then that will pull up, that will make it so that all the other buttons here on the trade window are available to move around. So now I can go ahead and click the yellow button again. I'm not going to do it this way this time because I want you guys to see it the other way. If I just click this X button, watch this. Just like that, it's gone. It just disappears. Again, it's very responsive. If you wake up and you have to close a trade very fast, or you get to your computer and you need to close a trade right away, that's the fastest way to do it in MT4. But I will tell you, like I said, there's no confirmation. It's just an immediate, boom, close the trade type of thing. Okay.
Hey traders, it's Steve from the future. I hope you have enjoyed this video so far. If you are getting value out of this video, be sure to hit the like button, click the subscribe button, and share your trading thoughts. I read all the comments, so feel free to ask any questions you have there too. On a side note, I host live trading calls like this one you are watching every day. Some of my biggest trading secrets I share exclusively to just the members in my program. I host these live trading calls every day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. I also host a basic training webinar every Monday for the newer traders, and the regular COT report and sentiment trading webinars every Wednesday night at 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern for the advanced and aspiring traders. All of these calls are recorded and promptly posted on the members' trading calendars at the conclusion of each call in case your schedule does not permit you to come to the live call. All of my members have complete access to the scanner. We call it Steve Scanner. This is an institutional grade trade alert scanner that picks the direction of the week on all 28 major currency pairs and includes trading instruments like gold, silver, NAS 100, US 30. Just in the last 90 days, I have made over 3,000 pips just taking the top trade signals from the scanner at the beginning of the week and then just holding those trade alerts until Friday. If you want access to the scanner, you can start a 14-day free trial with the join link in the description to get started. Lastly, if you really want to be a full-fledged VIP member of my program to get access to things like the basic training course, live signals channel, Steve's scanner, trading calendars, and the one-on-one calls with me throughout the month, you can use code YouTube50, that's YouTube50, no spaces at checkout, and save $50 on your first month. Again, just click the link in the description below and apply that coupon to become a VIP member, and I look forward to helping you with your inevitable trading success going forward. Now, back to the video.
Any questions on how to do this in MT4? Now, before we move on to the next platform to do this on, I wanted to just tell you guys real quick when I do this. So a lot of people have asked me, when is it a good time to move your stop loss to break even? And when is it a good time to, take half your position for profit? So here's a couple of things that I look at when I'm deciding on doing that. Number one, usually from just a price action standpoint, if a trade has moved a full stop loss in my favor, so let's say I take a trade and it has a 50 pip stop loss and the trade has gone 50 pips in my favor, but it has like another 100 pips to go. Let's say it's a 1-to-3 RR ratio. You're trying to make 150 pips, you're risking 50, pretty standard trade, right? If that trade goes 50 pips in my favor and we still have another 100 pips to go, but I've now covered 50 pips, usually that's a good point for me to put my stop loss at break even and take half my position for profit. Just to, soon as you've covered, a full whatever the stop loss would be, and you've made that now in profits, that's usually a standard time for me to consider taking that off. It's just a habit of I have. One of the reasons why I do this, especially bringing the stop loss to break even, is because the number one rule of trading is to not lose money, right? So the least amount of money we can lose, the better. In fact, I'm a little bit more, I don't know how it is, but like you got to balance it. You got to be good at balancing making a lot of money versus protecting money, right? Like if you never risk anything, you'll never make anything. So you can never, I've been in both. I've been trapped both ways in my mind trading, where I've been not risky enough and not pushing the markets the way I need to push them. And that alone can be a trap that you can get stuck in for years unless you kind of break out of it. So there has to be this mentality of an aggressor. So you do need to be risking money to be able to make things happen for yourself. At the same time, um, you don't want to be that guy that's just taking every single trade that seems to fall in his lap and, you know, moves his stop loss when trades don't go in his favor, right? Like that's the kind of guy you don't want to be. In fact, I'd prefer, my point I was making is I prefer you not be that guy. I'd rather have you be a conservative trader who loses very little and maybe isn't breaking even or even losing money, but losing money very slowly than the guy that just goes out there and risks everything on a couple of trades and then he's gone the next week, right? I've noticed just over time, the trader who's more conservative is able to become more of an aggressor. It's easier to teach that, but it's harder to teach an aggressive trader how to get back to capital management and protection of your trading account. Once you become a wild horse, it's very hard to get that type of trader to bridle themselves backwards unless they just totally humble themselves to the market and just realize that they're not bigger than the market. That's hard to do if you're just a lover of gambling, right? You know what I mean? So it can't, I've seen it both ways though. So if you're one or the other, if you lean towards the aggressor or if you lean conservative, like you can break out either way, but you have to have this balanced mix of protecting money and being aggressive, right? Like it's a hard thing to achieve, but you can become both. And you need to become both. Because if you're too conservative, you'll never make anything. But if you're too aggressive, you'll also never make anything, right? So you have to learn how to use both to your advantage, right? Okay, so I just wanted to share that real quick. And yeah, anyway, I don't have anything else really there. So let's move on to the next platform. So yeah, let's just start here. So here's Awanda. This is a web trader platform. This is similar to TradeLocker or Match Trader. Um, or if you trade on TradingView, this is powered by via TradingView. This is a great this is a great platform to trade on. It's very simple for a newer trader, I'd say. So let's kind of get familiar with this and how to manage a trade here, how to close half your position on a platform like this. So let's go ahead and open a trade. Again, let's pull up, like, say, the pound CAD. So I'm going to type in GBP C80 and let's go ahead and sell this pair. So I'm just going to go ahead and click the sell button. And they also have an order window that pulls up right here. And they have several things you can look at. They've got your market limit and stop order. So if you're doing limits, you'd click here. If you're doing a stop order, you'd click here. If you're doing a market order, you just click here. They also do this by units. So they don't call it volume like MT4 calls it. They call this by units. And so when you go through the lot size calculator on my FX book, you have the option to choose between a lot size and units. This is an example where you're going to be putting in units. Now, a lot of people kind of get confused by this because, especially when they're new, they put in, let's say you take a trade and it asks for 100,000 units. That's what's called a standard contract. By the way, units is just another way of saying dollars. So you're basically just um, saying this is a trade worth $100,000. Now, somebody might say, well, I only have $50,000 in my account. How can I take a trade that's 100,000? Well, you got to remember this is a leveraged market, right? You have the ability to trade a lot more than what's actually in your account. Okay. So so if it calls for 100,000 units and you only have 50 grand, that's pretty normal. That's not out of the ordinary to do that. In the United States, the cap, which is also pretty conservative here, is 50 to 1. So our brokers that trade Forex will allow you to go up 50 to 1. So if you have, $100,000 in a trading account here in the United States, technically you could move up to $5 million because that'd be 50 times your 100 grand, right? So if I actually turn this off here, it'll say my margin available on this account happens to be 258. Well, it's $258,000, but that's not the whole. Oh, it's because if I, oh, no, here it is. This is telling me on this currency pair, I could technically trade up to $4 million. So I could put in or 4 million units. So if I actually do that, technically I could take this trade. It would be nearly all of my margin, but I could take that trade. That would be like $400 per per pip. $400 per pip. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? That's a huge trade. No, thanks. So anyway, it's pretty normal to move 100 grand around a day, or more. It just depends on how big your lot size is. I mean, I took a trade last night that had six, almost seven contracts on one of my accounts. So, that's $700,000 of capital. And that's just normal, right? I mean, that's normal when you're moving, when you have a six-figure account, it's normal to do that kind of thing. Okay, cool. So there you go. There's your units. And what I just like how this platform gives you all this information. It'll be like, hey, this is how much you're moving in US dollars. This is how much you're going to make or lose per pip. So it's saying that if you lost one pip or made one pip, you would make or lose $7.20. Okay. This is telling you right here, margin used, how much money of your account that you're using to maintenance the trade. So maintenance is basically, well, it's another word for margin. Okay. And so in order to move 100 grand of the pound CAD or 100,000 units of the pound CAD, I need a minimum of $6,000 in my account to maintenance that trade. Right. So hopefully this is kind of giving you a feel for like when you're taking the trade, before you even take the trade, you're getting a feel for how big your trade is. Right? Because some people, it's easy to fat finger a trade. Like if you accidentally add another zero, all of a sudden you went from $7 per pip to $70 per pip. And that's a big, big difference, right? So really good to check just little things like this before you take the trade to make sure, like, okay, that sounds about what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make like 50 pips and I've got this $7 pip gain or loss, and you're like, okay, yep, that sounds more like what I'm doing. Really good stuff to check. Okay, now the other thing you can do here, this is awesome, way better than MT4. You can put in your take profit and stop loss like you normally can. With MT4, you can put in your price, or you can choose by pips. So you can click pips instead of price, and you can say I want to make 50 pips on this trade if it wins. Or and then in your stop loss area you can say I want to only risk 10 pips, right? And then and then that will tell you right here just above that how much you're risking. Okay, you're risking $72 on this trade. If you win, you make 361, right? So that's really, 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 really nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this trade. And sure, I'm just going to go ahead and put like a 50 pip take profit, and sure, a 10 pip stop loss is fine. Let's go ahead and just submit this order. But I'm going to change my units to just 2,000 units because that's about the same as the other example we just did. And I'm going to go ahead and hit submit. And as soon as I hit that, it's going to have a trade pull up on my chart. As you can see, there it is. If you can't see it pulled up on your chart, you're probably looking at the wrong chart. So you'll want to make sure that you go to the currency pair that you're actually trading on. Okay, so now you can see that trade here, but you can also see it down here in the trade terminal down here. All right, so a couple of ways to manage this trade. Again, you can move your stop loss and take profit around per normal. You can just click and drag. It takes a little bit longer for it to actualize, but it will work. You can move the take profit up. You can move it down. You just click and drag and drop. That's how you do this. Very easy operation. Okay. How do you modify this trade? If you double click on this trade uh, from here, nope, you can't do it on the chart. I thought you could. Now, if you double click, nope, you can't even double click on the order. There's this little button right here that says modify. It's a pencil on the actual trade. If you click modify, now you can do stuff. Okay. So you can be like, okay, I'm going to, um, let's see, I want to change my units. Why is that not letting me do that? Um, you can change your stop loss and take profit pretty easily. Let me see why. See if I click close trade. No, I'm surprised. One second, guys. This is it's being funny. Normally, I can just do this. I'm surprised why it's grayed out here because normally I can just come in here and do this. So I'm glad we're doing this. Because I hit this close trade button right here in the window, and it asks me, "Are you sure you want to close 2,000 units of the pound CAD?" And I'm gonna say no because I wanted to close half. If I hit yes, it's just gonna close the whole thing, and I don't want it to close the whole thing. So I'm gonna hit no. Because normally when I do this, I can just go in here and put in the amount of units. So I'm kind of surprised that it's not letting me do that. Oh, by the way, you can delete separate orders. So I can be like, I want to delete right here in this window. I want to delete my stop loss. Pretty easy. You just click, you want to delete your stop loss? You'll be like, yep. Do you want to delete your take profit? You can do that. Yep. You know, and that I'm not saying you want to do that. I'm just, it's kind of nice and just letting you know where you could do that. But for some reason, hmm, well, I'm gonna have to figure this out because normally it's I just come in here and hit the units and I can change that to 1,000 units and then I'll close half. So here I'm gonna add my take profit and stop loss back, save changes, and now I've got those back and I can move those on my chart again if I want to. Okay, I'm gonna try something. So if I actually come in here and do a hedge, so let's go ahead and add 1,000 units to buy, which is half the size of my sell. And I hit buy, I believe that might close half. Let me try. Um, yep, that did it. Okay, so here's how you do it, guys. And I thought you could, and I think you still can. I'm not sure why I can't see it. So what I just did is I closed half by basically going in to take the opposite trade. So this is a sell. Currently, it's at 1,000 units a sell. If I go right here and click buy instead, because that's the opposite of the trade I have open, just click buy instead. Since I have 1,000 units still open, let's close half of that, which is 500 units. If I click here, so I've got buy and then 500 units. If I click submit, watch my number right here change from 1,000 to 500. Watch this. Hit submit. There it is, 500. Okay. So I just successfully closed another half of my position. So I'm basically now down to a quarter of where I started. And then if I want to close the whole thing, I just click the X button right here and oh, there it is. Oh, that's funny. Okay. So here's an even easier way. So you can hedge. That's one way. And you're not really hedging because you're just closing out half by if you have a sell, you do a buy to close half. If you have a buy, you do a sell to close half. You're just taking the opposite trade. If you hit the X button right here, it says reduce slash close. If you click that, now I can change. Oh, see, look how cool this is. I wish every platform could do this. You can be like, okay, I want to close 100%, or I want to close just 75% of my position, or I want to close 50, or I want to close 25%. Say you want to close another 50% of this. I just hit submit. It says, are you sure you want to close a partial position of 250 units of your 500? See, it's very clear what you're doing. You can say, yeah, I do. Okay. And then boom. Now you're left with half. Now another half of that. And then you want to close, let's say, okay, I want to close the whole thing. You just say, I want to close 100%, hit submit. Yep, you're going to close 100% of your trade. Be like, yep. And then boom, trade's gone. Right. That's actually the coolest. This is probably the best platform to close half your position on. It's just super easy. I didn't make it seem easy at first, but yeah, if you click on the X button here, it gives you an option to reduce versus MT4 doesn't. You have to actually go into the trade and modify it. This one's so much easier. You don't even have to know what your units are. You can just be like close 50%. Boom, done. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. So pretty nice here. Okay, let me show you how to do this on DX Trade. This is pretty common. A lot of prop firms are using DX Trade. So let's go ahead and take a trade here. I'm also going to pull up the pound CAD and let's just do this again. Okay. So this is really simple. You just go over here, click sell, and this is what DX Trade's trade window looks like. You make sure it's the right symbol. You can change it to market limit stop or OCO, which is order cancels order, which we don't pretty much ever use. So we're just going to leave it at market. I'm going to change my contracts to 0.02. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and hit sell. And then you can add protection orders. And what's nice about these guys is they let you actually, you have to flip these on, and then you can change by pips, projected loss, or percent of balance. So you can even come in here and be like, I want to risk 0.25% of my account. And I'll be like, okay, I'm going to do a stop loss of 170 pips because that's 0.27, right? Pretty cool, actually, how that works. Now, if you want to do it by pips, that's easy. You just type in pips, or you just do pips, and then you can put in, 10 pips or whatever you want. For your take profit, you can put in pips as well. We'll say 50. Okay. Then we can go ahead and hit the sell button. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Um, Boom. And then there's the trade. You can see everything's active and now moving. Got pound CAD down here at the bottom. Here's the order. Okay, here's how you do it, guys. So if you come here and click the X button, this is just like Trade Locker, Match Trader, and the Web Trader platform with Awanda. It's going to ask you before when you hit that X button, that's not it. You have to wait for the window to pull up, and then you can go ahead and modify. So right here, it's going to ask you do what you want to do. It's defaulted to the entire position. So if I hit close position, it's going to close the whole thing. Now, if I change this to 0.01, now it's going to ask, do you want to close 0.01 out of 0.02? And you'd be like, yep, I do. So you click close half, and boom, there, you just closed half of your position, just like that. And you can still move your stop loss around like this. It's going to ask you if you really want to do that. You'll be like, sure, modify. And then it will move your stop loss to wherever you want. Same thing with your take profit. You can move this, but it's going to ask you if you want to modify, and you'll say, sure, modify. And then if you want to close the whole thing, you just click here, X, hit the X button in the terminal down below, and then hit close. And then boom, that trade is done, and it'll disappear pretty easily. So yeah, that's it. I would say the coolest one for sure is Awanda. Awanda is pretty legit. For price action trades, Awanda is pretty amazing. Um, I believe Match Trader and Trade Locker are about the same too. I could be wrong, but I believe they're about the same. Roger says the Awanda mobile app is easy too. Yeah, yeah, you can easily close half your position on the mobile app on Awanda. Yeah. Forex.com works about the same way too. They have their own web trader platform, and I think it's nearly the exact same as Awanda. So all right, guys, what questions do you guys have for me? Any questions, or is this about it? I think this is good. So rule of thumb when you're closing. Oh, I didn't finish what I was saying on this. When to close half your position. So close half when it's technically like when you have a price action trade that moves a full stop loss in your favor. That's a good rule of thumb to start taking profits and putting your stop, most importantly, your stop loss at break even. Most importantly, you don't necessarily have to take profits, but I think it's a good rule of thumb to do so. And then the other reason why you might want to take profits off the table, off of a trade before it hits the full target, is if there's a big news event on the horizon for that currency pair. So usually if something's coming up in the next 6 to 12 hours, I'm pretty likely to take half my position off the table. And then moving stop losses to break even just to protect. Again, rule number one is protect over making money. It truly is. Like I said earlier, it's so much easier to help somebody who's cautious with their capital and protecting than somebody who's just willy-nilly just taking trades and just, going horse all the time on their trades. You can fix that. I've been on both sides. I've definitely been on both sides, but it's a lot harder because when you're taking such aggressive trades, it's hard to kind of scale back because you feel like you're going backwards, but you're technically making advances forwards, but you don't feel like that because you're not maybe not trading as big as you used to because you're basically not gambling anymore, right? All right, guys, I think that's pretty good. I think I'll go ahead and wrap up. Appreciate each one of you. Thank you for coming. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and we'll see you guys in the next webinar.